2.2. Solve one-step equations. Inverse operations. Two operations that undo each other. So say A, the letter A, if I take the inverse of that, which is just negative A plus negative A will undo each other, and you would get 0. So, and equivalent equations are just equations that have the same solutions. And reciprocal will be, for example, if I give you the letter A, it would just be flipped. Addition property of equality. X minus A equals B. To apply the addition property of equality, we need to add the inverse of negative A, which is positive A. And then we cancel out negative A and positive A to get X equals B plus A. So when we do this with an actual equation, when we're solving for a variable such as A here, so our goal is to isolate the variable A, we need to add the inverse of negative 4.8, which is positive 4.8. Therefore, A would equal to 1.2. And here we have the subtraction property of equality. It's just the opposite. X plus A equals B. To isolate the variable X, we need to take the inverse of positive A by applying the subtraction property. So that will be negative A on both sides. Therefore, you can cancel out positive A and negative A to isolate the variable X. Therefore, on the right-hand side, it would be B minus A. Okay, and to do the numerical example, here we would have to isolate the variable positive P. So we need to subtract negative 3/8 to both sides of the equation. Cancel this part out. P would equal to negative 2/5 minus negative 3/8. And after putting these two fractions together, you should get negative 31/40. The multiplication property of equality. Let's take a look at X over A equals B. Our goal is to isolate the variable X. To do that, we need to multiply the reciprocal of 1 over A, which is A over 1. And by doing so, we're applying the multiplication property of equality. Meaning, by multiplying by the same variable to both sides of the equation will still remain equal. So we cancel out the A, and then the variable X is isolated. X would equal to A times B. For the division property of equality, it would just be the opposite. To isolate the variable X, we need to divide. So after we divide, in this next step, we cancel out the A to isolate the variable X. Therefore, X would equal to B over A. Okay, let's do some practice. Negative y over 4 equals negative 23. I'm going to go ahead and multiply by the reciprocal of 1 over negative 4, which is negative 4 over 1. Now cancel this out. Negative, negative, positive. Don't forget to deal with the signs first. The answer is 92. And for the next one, solve by multiplying by a reciprocal. So say reciprocal of 2 over 3 is 3 over 2. Cancel out the 3. So we get negative 4. Okay, here we're going to practice some problems involving the division property of equality. We'll divide by 14 to both sides. X equals to 3. Here divide by negative 1.5. B would equal to negative 5. Okay, let's do more practice. Part A, solve the equation. M would equal to negative 9.6 divided by 2.4. So M would equal to negative 4. And here, multiply by 3 over 2. N would equal to negative 4. And for this one, let's put the x in here. And we can multiply by negative 3 over 14. Okay, so this is all canceled out. X would equal negative, negative, positive. Shoot. 2 over 11. And part B, find the value of B using the given information. Okay, 3a equals 9 and b equals a minus 2. So here we can solve for a. A is 3. Then we can substitute a, which is 3, into this equation. 3 minus 2 equals 1. And for this one, we could add 5/4 to both sides of the equation to solve for a. I know 5/4 1.25, so 8.3 plus 1.25 gives me 9.55. And I can take that and sub it in to a. And get 38.2. Word problems. In the 2004 Olympics, Eric won the 200-meter dash. His winning time was 19.79, or 7/900ths. Find his average speed to the nearest tenths of a meter per second. Okay, step 1, let's define the variable. What are we looking for? We are looking for the average speed. Step 2, this is the equation that you need to use. Distance equals rate times time. And you're given the time, 19.79 seconds. Let's put that in. We don't know the rate, so that's S. And the distance is 200 meters. So therefore, we need to solve for S. S would equal to 200 divided by 19.79. And after you divide, you should get about 10.1. So the average speed is 10.1 meters per second. You're working at a car wash to raise money for a charity. By the end of the day, you raise $342. You charge $6 for each car wash. How many cars were washed during the days? So you define your variable. Let x equals the number of car washes. $6 per car wash, so 6x would be the total amount you make. So we're going to set that equal to 342. And after you solve for x, you get 57. So answer should be 57 cars. You're saving money for a tent that costs us $265. You have 2/5 of the money from gifts at your recent birthday party. You will save the rest of the money from your part-time job. Part A, how much money will you need to save? So if 2/5 is already saved, then you still have 3/5 to go. So you're going to have to multiply that by 265. I'm going to let S be the amount that you will need to save. Okay, so $159 is what you need to save. Part B, if you make $8 an hour, how many hours will you have to work to earn enough money to buy the tent? So let H equals hours. So $8 an hour, 8H will give you the total that you need to make. And H will go to about 19 7/8. So since 7/8 can be converted to 0.875, we can write your answer as 19.875 hours. Geometry. The triangle has the area A. Write and solve an equation to find the value of x. So we know the formula for the area of a triangle is half times base times height. Given the area of 72. Base is given 16. And we need to find the value of x, which is the height. So I'm going to change h to x. Okay, now we can solve. X equals 9 centimeters. And this concludes the lesson.